Dave Kenworthy here, 16th of the 12th, 2021. And I've expanded the Eclipse model by putting the line in from Maeshowe down to the spit at Hengistbury Head. And we can take a look at this fourth line and see if it goes through the monuments that the other lines do. So we go down to Avebury. Now, as well as expanding the Eclipse line model, I've also been working on the septuple squares because they can be aligned with the position of the Avebury monument, and that's what I've been working on here. I haven't finished it yet. But this line to there is 92,400 feet long, and the length of the greater cursus is 9240 feet long. So that line, which goes past Avebury, is 10 greater cursi in length. But anyway, that's for the next presentation. Now this is the line that I've just introduced, and we can see now that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines all going through Avebury. And the accuracy involved is almost beyond our comprehension. How did they do it? We've no idea really, but we can move down and go past Silbury Hill, and we can see the West Kennet Long Barrow, where 2 lines go through it and 2 are on the outside of it, but these 2, that one goes centrally through it. That's the one from Brodgar. And we move a bit further down, pull out a bit because the lines have disappeared because of the gradient of the landscape. And there's the Alton Barnes White Horse, where if we pull in, one of the lines will disappear. The line from Stonehenge to Avebury won't, but the big line from the Orkneys down to Hengistbury Head will. So let's see how close in we can get before it disappears. So there, it's gone now. But we can see that that line from Stonehenge to Avebury goes right through the Alton Barnes White Horse. I discussed this with an archaeologist recently, and she assured me that Alton Barnes White Horse is definitely not a megalithic construction. So whoever constructed it, they knew something, because these lines, 2 of them, go right through it. I mean, they're actually crossing on the White Horse. One of the Eclipse lines is crossing the Stonehenge Avebury line. The Stonehenge Avebury line being 17.333 miles long. And we'll have a brief look at that, I think, today. So that's, I suppose the same archaeologist would have told me that the next site's not megalithic either. It's this one, Casterly Camp, which was Romanised, but we've seen that it's an absolutely ideal location for an astronomical observatory. But for some reason, our archaeologists will just not engage in this idea of Tom's, that these people were studying the movements of the sun and the moon, in particular the moon, and they were doing it up in the Orkneys at Brodgar. So we move down again, the 4 lines. And we're coming now to the Stonehenge cursus, and all four obviously go right through the cursus, and they go through the septuple squares. And we've got these septuple squares from the work of Howard Crowhurst at Carnac. And now Howard Crowhurst has written a book about these megalithic lines and megalithic use of Route 2, Route 3 and Route 5 in the English landscape as well. So this is supporting and reinforcing what he is saying. So we'll move down again. There's something that's right on the lines and another shape there. I don't know whether they're significant. But there is a site here. These sites here are definitely very significant, and there is some evidence that this one could be a megalithic enclosure. And I don't know when these circles were actually described on the landscape, but they're definitely there, and other metrologists have mentioned them. Charles Magner suggested that this could be Mercury, and Melissa Campbell did as well. So I don't think we can discount these sites. And as we move down towards the megalithic capital of the UK, look at that, for the accuracy of those four lines describing the circle inside the flattened top of Old Sarum, and that design is the same as Silbury Hill, inside a moat, inside a trench. And it's most certainly a megalithic design, and that is most certainly, if you go there, it's the best astronomical observatory you could find anywhere in the UK. It's absolutely amazing, and you've got uninterrupted views of the horizons all the way round, and it's exactly what Professor Tom told us. And then we just go down now to the Hengistbury spit. I mean, there are other sites that these lines are going through that are worthy of investigation. Charles Magner's identified a couple of sites further up the lines that I've looked at, and I'm quite sure that Charles is right about what he says about the sites, that they're most certainly megalithic, and they're most certainly significant to people that came after the megalithic, like the Romans and the Normans. And there we are, there's a spit at Hengistbury Head, and the four lines converge. They go through all those sites. I mean, this is the fourth video I've made on this now, and there's absolutely no doubt about this. And we can go back to Brodgar, and we can perhaps think about what's being represented. We'll have to pull out. And the theory is these three are representing Orion's belt, and maybe Maeshowe represents Sirius. I really don't know. I'm not. I don't understand too much about this aspect of Tom's work, and whether Sirius would be rising in the sky in winter when Orion's belt is as well, but most certainly it's something that can't be ignored in the sky when you see it. And Tom mentioned that they could have been following it. But certainly, if you think about the fact that these are all fixed in the sky, and we're saying that this line is representing the solar system, it's going through the planets of the solar system, so it's going through Avebury as the Earth, Silbury Hill is representing the Moon, Stonehenge is representing Venus. We've seen possibly a site that represents Mercury. I think I might have said Mars, but I meant Mercury, that Charles Magner's identified. And all these all these planets would have just completed a transit of the sun. So everything stacks up 100%. And if we're looking at here, the fixed stars in the sky, and we're looking at the planets moving, and the planets are being represented on mainland, and the stars are being represented on the islands across the sea. Maybe that was significant in the whole design, so that the planets are fixed. They're a very, very long way away, and they're not going to move in relation. The stars are not going to move in relation to the planets. The planets do move, and the ancient designers were aware of that. They were also aware that the stars behind them were moving, but never changing their positions like the planets do. So that's it for now. Thank you.